$4.2 million. 2 children. 40 years of believing I was a good father. All gone. The judge's gavel hit 3 times. The sound echoed through the courtroom, then silence. I looked to my right. My son sat with 3 lawyers. He wouldn't meet my eyes. On my table, I had an old briefcase and the shaking hands of a man who'd just lost everything. But that was before I went to the basement. Before I opened the box my wife left behind. Before I understood that Sarah had seen this day coming 15 years ago, and she'd prepared everything I'd need to win this war. Let me take you back a year, to when Sarah was still alive. March 2023. My wife was dying, stage 4 core cancer. The doctors gave her 3 months. She lasted 5 because she was stubborn, and because I learned to make her grandmother's chicken soup the way she liked it, with extra dill and no carrots. I'd wake at 2 in the morning to change her IV bag, read to her when the pain got bad, hold her hand until she fell asleep. We'd been married 41 years. I wasn't about to leave her side for the ending. One night, a week before she died, Sarah squeezed my hand. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Ben, promise me something. Anything. When I'm gone, go through my office. There's something important in the basement. Don't wait too long." I nodded. I thought she meant photo albums, maybe old letters, the kind of things widows and widowers sort through while they learn to be alone. I was wrong. Sarah died on March 15th, 2024. We held the funeral at Calvary Church. 40 people, mostly her book club friends and my former colleagues. Jonathan showed up with Victoria and the kids. Caroline came with her husband. They hugged me, told me they loved me, said all the right things. But Victoria left early, said she had to pick up the kids, but I'd seen the babysitter in the parking lot. Jonathan pulled me aside after the service. "Dad, you shouldn't be alone in that house. Come stay with us for a while." I said no. I needed time. 2 months passed. I was learning how to cook for one, how to sleep in a bed that felt too big, how to answer when people asked, "How are you?" without crying. In May, I ran into Evelyn Porter at an architecture exhibit downtown. We'd worked together 20 years ago. She's a landscape architect, brilliant with urban parks. Her husband had died 3 years earlier. Brain aneurysm. She understood the specific loneliness of losing someone after decades together. We got coffee, talked about work, about grief, about how some days you forget they're gone and some days the absence crushes you. "It gets easier," she said. "Not better, easier." I called her the next week. We met for lunch. It wasn't romantic, just 2 old professionals who understood loss. But Jonathan called 3 days later. His voice was tight. "Dad, I heard you were with someone. At the gallery. Just a friend." Who is she?" "An old colleague, Evelyn Porter." "Dad, you need to be careful. There are people who target widowers." I should have heard the warning in his tone. But I was 66 and lonely and didn't think my son was profiling my social life. By September, Evelyn and I had dinner a few times. Always casual, always just friends. But when I invited her to the house, Jonathan and Victoria showed up unannounced. Victoria's smile didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, Dad, you have a friend. How nice." She drew out the word friend like it meant something else. "How long have you 2 been seeing each other?" "We're not dating. She's a colleague." "Of course." Victoria touched Jonathan's arm. "We just worry about you, Dad. Being alone, making decisions." October came. Jonathan called more often. Always the same script. "Are you okay? Have you seen a doctor?" "We're worried." Then Thanksgiving. I invited everyone. Jonathan, Victoria, their 2 kids, Caroline, her husband, their daughter, and Evelyn, because I didn't want to sit at that table alone. The dining table Sarah picked out in 1996, seats 12. That night, 9 of us sat down. Sarah's chair stayed empty. I'd put her photo where she used to sit, a picture from our 30th anniversary. Victoria started asking questions. "Dad, do you remember what we had for Thanksgiving last year?" I thought. "Turkey, stuffing." "No, Dad, we had ham. You picked it yourself." I didn't argue, but I knew we'd had turkey. Sarah always made turkey. "What's our neighbor's name, the one on the left?" I hesitated. Mr. Stevens, I think. It's Johnson, Dad. They've been there 10 years. But it was Stevens. I'd spoken to him about the fence line just 2 weeks ago. Victoria kept going. 8 questions. 8 small traps. I noticed her phone by the flower vase, screen facing the table. Evelyn left early. Said she had a headache. I walked her to the door. Ben, she whispered, that woman doesn't like me here. She's just protective. That's not protection. That's something else. After everyone left, I cleaned up alone. Found Victoria's phone on the side table. The screen lit up with a notification. Video uploaded to Drive, Dad, Thanksgiving 2024. I didn't open it that night. If I had, maybe I'd have understood sooner. 3 weeks later, the envelope came. White, thick. Logo of the Los Angeles County Superior Court in the corner. I opened it at the kitchen table. Petition for conservatorship of the person and estate of Lawrence Benjamin Hart. Petitioner, Jonathan Hart. Grounds, alleged diminished mental capacity, memory impairment, susceptibility to undue influence. Relief sought. Grant conservatorship to Jonathan Hart, over respondent's person, an estate valued at $4.2 million. I read it 3 times. Then I called my son. No answer. I called Caroline. She picked up crying. Dad, I'm so sorry. John said this is the only way to protect you. He said that woman is after your money. I didn't want to, but he's my brother. I sat in the kitchen until dark. The next morning I drove to Judith Brennan's office. She'd been our estate lawyer since 2008, handled the trust Sarah and I set up. Judith knew our family. She read the petition. Her face went hard. Lawrence, this is serious. They're claiming you're mentally incompetent. If a judge agrees, you lose control of everything. Your money, your house, even your medical decisions. But I'm fine. I can still read blueprints. I drive. It doesn't matter what's true. It matters what they can prove. She turned her laptop, showed me an attachment, a video, 47 minutes long. Title, Evidence of Cognitive Decline. She pressed play. It was Thanksgiving, but edited. Every moment I'd hesitated before answering Victoria's questions. Isolated. Cut together. Stripped of context. Subtitles underneath. Subject appears disoriented. The subject cannot recall basic information. Subject exhibits memory loss, consistent with early dementia. They'd turned 9 seconds of normal conversation into 47 minutes of manufactured incompetence. There's more, Judith said. They have a medical affidavit. Dr. Gerald Stevens says he examined you and found signs of cognitive decline. I've never met anyone named Stevens. Have you seen any doctor recently? Just Dr. Reynolds, my annual checkup in August. He said I was healthy. Judith made a note. Then either Dr. Stevens is lying or someone forged a medical report. Either way, we have a problem. I went home, sat at the kitchen table, opened my laptop, logged into the bank account, the joint account Sarah and I had shared for 40 years. I scrolled through transactions. April 15th, check number 3381, $9,000. Memo. Dad's care expenses. May 3rd, check 3385, $11,000. Same memo, June 20th, check 3391, $8,000. 14 checks total. March through November, $127,000. I called the bank. Who signed these checks? Your son, Mr. Hart, Jonathan Hart. He was added as a co-signer in 2020. I froze. I didn't add him. Sir, we have the authorization form on file. Your signature is here. I asked them to email it. Hung up, waited. The form arrived. I opened it. There was my signature. Or something that looked like my signature. But wrong. I've signed my name on architectural drawings for 40 years. Thousands of times. Always the same. The final T in Hart. I always add a slight upstroke. An old habit from drawing elevation lines. This signature had a downstroke. Someone had forged it. Carefully, but not carefully enough. I printed the form, stared at it. Jonathan had been stealing from me for 8 months, using my dead wife's joint account, writing checks to himself, calling it care expenses, but I hadn't received any care. No home health aid, no medication delivery, no services. Where had the money gone? I looked at the dates, cross-referenced them with my credit card statements. April 15th, the day after the first check, Victoria posted on Instagram from a spa in Santa Barbara. Self-care Saturday, $18,000 weekend package. June 20th, the day of check 3391, Jonathan bought a new Tesla. Paid cash. They weren't caring for me. They were spending my money. Our money. Mine and Sarah's. The woman who'd saved every receipt, who'd clipped coupons even when we were wealthy, who'd died believing we'd saved enough to keep me comfortable in old age. They'd spent her savings on handbags and cars. I sat there until the sun went down. Then I remembered what Sarah said. There's something in the basement. For 8 months, I'd avoided that basement. Every box down there was a memory. Her books, her sewing supplies, the Christmas decorations she'd carefully labeled. Going down there meant accepting she was really gone. But that night, I needed more than memories. I needed answers. I walked to the basement door, put my hand on the cold knob. 8 months. 8 months I'd been too weak to face her things. But grief is a luxury you can't afford when someone's trying to destroy you. I opened the door, turned on the light, started down the stairs. The basement smelled like dust and cardboard. Sarah's corner was exactly how she'd left it. Her sewing table. Boxes stacked neatly. Labels in her handwriting. Christmas 1998. Baby clothes. College photos. And in the back corner, under a shelf, a gray metal box I'd never seen before. I pulled it out. There was a lock. 4-digit combination. I tried our anniversary. Wrong. Tried Sarah's birthday. Wrong. Then I tried mine. March 8th, 0308. The lock clicked open. Inside the box, papers, a USB drive, letter in Sarah's handwriting, and her wedding ring attached to a small key. I picked up the letter. My hands shook. The paper was crisp. Dated November 2023, 4 months before she died. My dearest Ben, it started. I had to stop. Breathe. Her handwriting. The way she looped her B's, the little heart she drew instead of a period after Ben. I kept reading. If you're reading this, it means they did it. Jonathan and that woman did what I prayed they'd never do. I saw it coming 15 years ago. November 2010, Thanksgiving. Victoria asked me, Mom, when you and Dad pass, how does the inheritance work? She wasn't even married to John yet. She was calculating. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd say I was overreacting. You've always seen the best in people. It's why I love you. But it's also why I had to protect you. In this box, you'll find everything you need. Our real will, the one we signed with Judith in 2010. The trust documents with the no contest clause. Proof of every lie. Recordings of our meetings with Judith so they can't say you coerced me. Ben, listen to me. You are not a bad father. You gave them everything because you have a big heart, but they mistook your kindness for weakness. Don't let them see you cry. Don't let them hear you angry. Just activate the plan. Judith knows what to do. I'm sorry I had to leave you alone for this fight. But you're not really alone. I'm here. In every page. In every clause. In every line of defense I built for you. Win this, Ben. Not for the money. For your dignity. Forever yours, Sarah Jane P.S. The ring on the key opens safe deposit box number 1653 at First Union Bank. There's one more thing inside. You'll know when to use it. I read the letter 3 times. Sarah had known. For 15 years, she'd been watching, preparing, building a legal fortress while I built buildings. I opened the USB drive on my laptop. 4 folders. Folder 1, legal recordings. 23 audio files, each one labeled with a date. I clicked the first one. November 2010, Sarah's voice, younger, stronger, talking to Judith. I want the trust structured so that if anyone tries to claim Lawrence is incompetent without medical proof, they forfeit their inheritance. Completely. No second chances. Judith's voice. That's called a no contest clause. Are you sure? I'm sure. I saw how Victoria looked at this house, how she asked about the company's valuation. I won't let her take what Lawrence built. I clicked through more files. Years of meetings. Sarah asking detailed questions about conservatorship law, about how to protect assets, about triggers and penalties. She'd been building this defense since 2010. Folder 2, Victoria red flags. 18 text files, notes in Sarah's handwriting, scanned. November 2010, Thanksgiving. Victoria, Mom, do you think Dad will live past 80? Just curious. December 2010, Christmas. Victoria, you guys should enjoy your money now, not save it all for later. April 2018, Easter. Victoria to John, overheard in kitchen. Your dad's company is worth at least $3 million. That's ours someday. September 2022, Labor Day. Victoria, has Dad updated his will recently? Just wondering. 18 notes, spanning 12 years. Sarah had been documenting every warning sign. Folder 3, photos. I clicked. Security camera footage, our kitchen. Date stamp, August 2019. Victoria at our filing cabinet. Going through papers, looking over her shoulder. She pulled out a folder labeled Estate Planning. Took photos with her phone. More footage, December 2021. Victoria in our home office, trying different combinations on our safe. She didn't get it open, but she tried. Sarah had installed cameras, had been watching. Folder 4, the final video. One file. Dated March 8th, 2024, 1 week before Sarah died. I clicked it. Sarah appeared on screen. Hospital bed in our bedroom, head wrapped in a scarf, face thin, but her eyes sharp as ever. Hi, my love. I closed my laptop. Couldn't watch yet. Not yet. I needed to see Judith first. Judith's office, 9 in the morning. I brought everything. The metal box, the USB drive, the forged bank authorization. She spread 50 of my old architectural drawings across her conference table. Blueprints from 1985 to 2015. Everyone signed. We're going to compare signatures, she said. Every architect develops a signature with muscle memory. You've been signing blueprints for 40 years. Your hand knows what to do. She pulled out a magnifying glass, held it over my signature on a 1987 blueprint, then over the forged bank document. See this? She pointed to the letter T in Hart. On your real signatures, the crossbar has a slight upward angle, about 23 degrees. It comes from drawing elevation lines. You lift the pen at the end, every single time. She moved the glass to the forgery. This one angles down, 18 degrees. Whoever forged this didn't know about your architectural habits. We spent 3 hours documenting differences. She photographed everything, made charts, measured angles with a protractor. I'm calling in an expert, Judith said, a forensic document examiner, former FBI. He'll write a report for court. She made a call, sent scanned files through encrypted email. 3 days later, the report arrived. 15 pages. Conclusion. The signature on the 2020 bank authorization form is inconsistent with known exemplars. Probability of forgery, 94.7%. Judith looked at me. We can prove someone forged your signature. Now we find out who. I already knew, but proving it was different. The checks, I said. The $127,000. Can we trace where it went? We'll need a forensic accountant. She made another call. That afternoon, Judith spread out the trust documents Sarah had hidden in the metal box. 53 pages. Your wife built you a fortress, Judith said. Let me show you how. She laid the pages out like blueprints, drew diagrams on her whiteboard. This is a revocable living trust. You and Sarah created it in 2010. You're the trustee while you're alive. You control everything, but there are protections built in. She pointed to page 7. Here's the first layer, the no contest clause. If any beneficiary challenges your mental capacity in court without medical proof from 2 independent doctors, they forfeit their entire inheritance automatically. They get $1. $1? Symbolic and legal. It proves you didn't accidentally forget them. She flipped to page 12. Second layer, the behavioral trigger mechanism. If someone files for conservatorship using forged documents or manufactured evidence, the trust activates additional penalties. Their share gets redistributed to charity. Specifically, the Sarah Hart Memorial Scholarship Fund for architecture students from low-income families. Sarah set that up. 15 years ago, she endowed it with 50,000. If the trigger activates, it'll get Jonathan's entire share, about 1.8 million. Judith turned to page 19. Third layer, the successor trustee clause. If anyone successfully gets conservatorship over you, I become the trustee. Not your children. Me. I manage everything according to the trust terms. They can't touch it. So even if they win, they don't get control. That's the genius. Sarah made it impossible for them to profit from this lawsuit. What about the forgery? The bank document? Judith pulled out another section. Page 28. Fraud Protection Clause. If anyone obtains access to your accounts through fraud, forgery, or deception, they're immediately removed as beneficiary. Plus, you can sue them for restitution. We can force Jonathan to return the $127,000 with interest. I stared at the documents. Sarah had thought of everything. There's one more thing, Judith said. The trigger mechanism. The dead man's switch. What's that? Sarah set up an automated alert. I monitor the LA County Court database through a legal service. If your name appears in any conservatorship filing, I get an email immediately. That's how I knew about Jonathan's petition before you did. I was already preparing our response before you walked in here. Sarah arranged that? In 2010. She paid for 15 years of monitoring in advance. The alert came through November 27th at 6:34 a.m., 3 days after Jonathan filed. I opened the sealed envelope she left in my safe. Inside were instructions, a draft legal response, a list of experts to call. She'd already written 80% of our defense. I just had to fill in the current dates. I sat back. She planned for a war she hoped would never happen. She planned because she loved you. And because she understood something important. Sometimes love means preparing someone to fight alone. Judith gathered the documents. Now we execute the plan. First, we respond to the petition. We'll attach the forensic signature analysis, the trust documents proving you're protected. And we'll demand a full mental competency evaluation on your terms. 2 independent doctors, full neurological workup. We'll prove you're sharper than men half your age. When? I've already scheduled the appointments. Tomorrow, 9 a.m., Dr. Nathan Reynolds, neurologist, 30 years experience. He'll do an MRI and a mini mental state exam. Thursday, 1 p.m., Dr. Lisa Montgomery, neuropsychologist. She'll run a 3-hour cognitive battery. Memory, logic, spatial reasoning. By Friday, we'll have reports proving you're completely competent. And when the money, the $127,000, we file a separate civil suit. Fraud, conversion, elder financial abuse. We demand full restitution plus damages. California law allows triple damages for financial abuse of elders. That's $381,000 plus attorney fees. She looked at me. Sarah gave you every tool you need, Lawrence. Now we use them. Quietly. Methodically. We don't fight them with emotion. We fight them with evidence. With law. With the architecture your wife built. I thought of Sarah, sick, dying, spending her last months building this fortress. When do we tell them we have all this? Judith smiled, cold, professional. We don't, not yet. Let them think they're winning. Let them get confident. Then in court, we bury them with facts. I nodded. There's one more thing, I said. The safe deposit box. Sarah left a key. First Union Bank? Box 1653. Let's go. The hearing was set for January 9th. Department 14, Los Angeles County Superior Court. Judge Margaret Chen presiding. Jonathan's lawyer went first. Young, expensive suit. Confident. Your Honor, the evidence will show that Lawrence Hart, age 66, suffers from significant cognitive decline. He exhibits memory loss, confusion, and impaired judgment. He's vulnerable to exploitation by a woman he met shortly after his wife's death, a woman who has isolated him from his concerned family. He introduced the video, 47 minutes of edited footage. You'll see Mr. Hart unable to recall basic information, disoriented, confused about simple facts. Then he called his medical expert, Dr. Gerald Stevens, 50-something, calm voice. I evaluated Mr. Hart on November 20th. He showed signs consistent with early-stage dementia, memory deficits, impaired executive function. In my professional opinion, he lacks capacity to manage his financial affairs. Judith stood. Stevens, how long was your evaluation? Approximately 20 minutes. Did you perform any standardized cognitive tests? I conducted a clinical interview. No MMSE? No clock drawing tests? No neurological exam? The interview was sufficient for an initial assessment. I see. And have you ever met Mr. Hart before November 20th? No. Have you reviewed his medical records? No. Spoken to his primary care physician? No. So your entire opinion is based on a 20-minute conversation? That's standard for... Thank you, doctor. Judith called her own expert. Dr. Nathan Reynolds, 70, wire-rimmed glasses, 30 years as a neurologist at UCLA Medical Center. Dr. Reynolds, did you evaluate Mr. Hart? Yes, on December 5th. I spent 4 hours with him. What tests did you perform? Full neurological examination, mini mental state exam, clock drawing test, 3-hour neuropsychological battery administered by Dr. Montgomery. And we did an MRI at UCSF Medical Center. What were the results? Mr. Hart scored 29 out of 30 on the MMSE. That's excellent for his age, better than 60% of the comparison group. The MRI showed no atrophy, no stroke, no pathology consistent with dementia. The neuropsych battery showed all cognitive functions within normal limits. In your professional opinion, does Mr. Hart have dementia? No, absolutely not. His cognitive profile is consistent with healthy aging. His memory is intact. His executive function is excellent. When I asked him to draw a floor plan of his childhood home from memory, he did it in under 3 minutes with accurate dimensions. That's not dementia. That's an architect with a sharp mind. Jonathan's lawyer stood. Your Honor, Dr. Stevens examined. Dr. Stevens spent 20 minutes and administered no objective tests, Judge Chen said. I'm giving Dr. Reynolds' testimony considerably more weight. Continue. Judith called Alan Griffin, forensic accountant, 40 years experience, former IRS investigator. Mr. Griffin, did you examine Mr. Hart's financial records? Yes. 6 days of analysis. I tracked every transaction from March through November 2024. What did you find? 14 checks, total $127,000, all written by Jonathan Hart, all from a joint account belonging to Lawrence and Sarah Hart. What were these checks for? Each check had a memo, Dad's care expenses. Did Mr. Hart receive any care services during this period? No. I verified with every home health agency, medical supplier, and care facility in Los Angeles County. 0 services provided to Lawrence Hart. Where did the money go? Griffin displayed a flow chart on the screen. The money was deposited into an account controlled by Victoria Hart, then withdrawn in 14 transactions. I have receipts showing the following expenditures. $18,000 at Serenity Spa, $31,000 to Dr. Cassandra Moore for cosmetic dentistry, $22,000 at Bergdorf Goodman for luxury goods, $15,000 for a vacation in Cancun. The remainder paid down credit card debt. $0 spent on Mr. Hart's care? Correct. 100% of the funds were used for Victoria Hart's personal expenses. The courtroom was silent. Judge Chen looked at Jonathan. Mr. Hart, did you write these checks? Jonathan stood. Your Honor, I was told the money was for Dad's care. Victoria said she was arranging services. You wrote checks for $127,000 without verifying any services were rendered? I trusted my wife. You trusted your wife with your father's money. Judith introduced the forensic document report. Put the examiner on the stand. Former FBI. 30 years analyzing questioned documents. He explained the upstroke angle, the muscle memory of architectural signatures, the statistical impossibility that I'd signed the bank authorization. In my expert opinion, the signature on the 2020 authorization form is a forgery. I'd estimate it was executed by someone with experience signing legal documents, possibly in real estate, but without knowledge of Mr. Hart's specific habits. Victoria went pale. Jonathan's lawyer objected. There's no proof my client's wife. The checks were deposited to her account, Judith said. She had access to Mr. Hart's home. She had motive. And the signature characteristics match someone who signs real estate documents regularly, which Mrs. Hart does as part of her profession. Judge Chen made a note. Then Judith played the audio files from 2010. Sarah's voice, clear, calm, discussing the trust with Judith, explaining the no contest clause, stating her concerns about Victoria. "I want this in writing," Sarah said on the recording. "If they ever claim Lawrence is incompetent without real medical evidence, they get nothing. I won't let them use the law to steal what he built." The judge listened to 10 minutes, then held up her hand. "I've heard enough. I'm ready to rule." She looked at Jonathan. "Mr. Hart, your petition for conservatorship is denied. The evidence shows your father is fully competent. The edited video is misleading. Dr. Stevens' testimony is contradicted by thorough evaluations from Dr. Reynolds, and the financial evidence suggests this petition was motivated not by concern, but by greed." Jonathan sat down hard. "Furthermore, I'm referring this matter to the district attorney for investigation of potential forgery and elder financial abuse. Mrs. Hart, you may want to consult with a criminal defense attorney." Victoria's lawyer whispered urgently to her, "Mr. Lawrence Hart, you retain full control of your assets and person. The petition is dismissed with prejudice." The gavel fell. I sat there, quiet, still. Judith touched my shoulder. We won. But winning felt cold, empty. Across the courtroom, Caroline was crying. She looked at me, mouthed, "I'm sorry." Jonathan stared at the table. Victoria was already gone. 3 days after the ruling, the district attorney opened an investigation. Victoria hired a defense lawyer. The DA was looking at felony, forgery, and elder financial abuse. If convicted, she'd face up to 4 years in prison. Jonathan's lawyer called Judith, wanted to settle the civil suit quietly, return the $127,000, no admission of guilt. "Not enough," Judith said. "Triple damages, $381,000, plus attorney fees, plus he signs away all claim to the estate. He gets the $1 the trust specifies, nothing more." The lawyer said he'd talk to his client. I went home. The house was exactly as I'd left it. Sarah's photo still on the mantel, her coffee mug still in the cabinet. The basement door still open from when I'd found the metal box. I made dinner for one, sat at the 12-seat table alone. My phone rang. Caroline. I stared at the screen, let it go to voicemail. She called again. I didn't answer. The third time I picked up. "Dad?" Her voice was wrecked. "Dad, please, I need to talk to you." Silence. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. John told me you were confused, that you were being manipulated. He showed me parts of that video. I thought we were protecting you." "You testified against me." I know. His lawyer said I had to. Said if I didn't support John, it would make the family look divided. Make the judge think we were fighting over money." "You were fighting over money." "I wasn't. I swear I never wanted your money. I wanted John to be right. I wanted to believe we were the good guys." I didn't say anything. "When that accountant showed where the money went?" "Dad, I didn't know. Victoria told John she was arranging care for you. She showed him fake invoices. He believed her. He wrote the checks. I know. That's on him. But Victoria, she planned everything. The video, the questions, the doctor. John's an idiot, but he's not evil. He's just weak. And you?" She was crying now. "I was a coward. I should have called you. Should have asked you directly, but I was scared of choosing between you and John, so I chose the easy thing. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry." I closed my eyes, saw Caroline at 8 years old, bringing me drawings from school, sitting in my office while I worked, asking questions about buildings. "I need time," I said. "I understand. Don't call me for a while." "Okay. If you're really sorry, you'll prove it with time, not words." "I will. I promise." I hung up. Sat there in the silent house. I'd won. The law had sided with me. My assets were protected. Victoria would likely face criminal charges. Jonathan would pay triple damages. But I'd lost my family. That night I went back to the basement. found the USB drive, opened the video file I hadn't been able to watch before. Sarah. 1 week before she died. Hospital bed, scarf over her head, thin face, but her eyes still fierce. I press play. Hi, my love. Her voice. God, her voice. If you're watching this, I'm gone, and they've hurt you. She adjusted the camera. Her hands were thin, ivy line in her arm. I need you to know this is not your fault. You are a wonderful father. You gave them everything: love, education, opportunities. You did your job perfectly. She paused, wiped her eyes. But I failed. I saw the signs in Victoria, and I didn't speak up loud enough. I thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe she'd change. But I wasn't wrong, Ben, and she didn't change. The camera shook slightly. Sarah steadied it. I spent 15 years preparing for this day. Every document in that box, every recording, every note, I did it so you wouldn't have to fight alone. She leaned forward. Now listen carefully. When you go to court, don't defend yourself with words. Just give Judith the documents. Let the evidence speak. Stay silent. Stay dignified. That's your power. Sarah always said, architects don't argue with critics. They let the building stand. She smiled, sad, tired. Now, about Jonathan and Caroline. Her expression changed, softer. Jonathan is lost. Victoria has him. He's made his choice. Maybe one day he'll wake up, maybe not. But you can't save people who won't admit they're drowning. She wiped more tears. But Caroline, she's just scared. She loves you. When this is over, if she comes back, give her a chance. Not immediately. Make her earn it. But eventually, Ben, she's our daughter. She's weak, not cruel. There's a difference. Sarah's breathing was labored now. I have one last request. Don't let this destroy you. Don't become bitter. You have so much life left. Find joy again. She looked directly at the camera. Maybe with Evelyn. Yes, I knew about her. I saw you two at the gallery. I followed you to coffee. My breath caught. She's good people, Ben. Kind, smart. She understands loss. Don't feel guilty. I want you to be happy. I want you to have someone to talk to when you wake up at 2 a.m. and can't sleep. She was crying now. I loved you at 22. I loved you at 62. I'll love you forever. But forever for me is over. For you, it's just beginning. She reached toward the camera. One more thing. In safe deposit box 1653, there's an envelope. Inside is a letter for Caroline. Don't give it to her until she's proven herself. But when she does, and I think she will, give her that letter. It's from me. It'll help her understand. Sarah took a shaky breath. Thank you for 41 years. Thank you for every building we toured together, every museum, every Sunday morning reading the paper in bed. Thank you for holding my hand when the pain was bad, for learning to make my grandmother's soup, for staying. She touched her lips, pressed her fingers to the camera lens. I love you, Benjamin Hart. Now go get our dignity back. Then go live. Don't waste time. Build something beautiful. That's what architects do. She smiled once more. See you on the other side, my architect. The video ended. I sat in the dark basement, crying. The kind of crying that comes from the center of your chest. The kind that's been waiting 8 months to get out. Sarah had given me 2 gifts, a legal fortress and permission to live. I'd used the fortress. Now I had to learn to use the permission. But first, I had one more piece of her plan to complete. The safe deposit box, the envelope for Caroline, and the test Sarah had designed. I went to the bank. Box 1653, used Sarah's key. Inside, one sealed envelope, addressed in Sarah's handwriting, for Caroline, when she's ready. I held it, didn't open it. That wasn't for me, but there was something else, a second letter. This one addressed to me. Ben, if you're reading this, you've won the legal battle. Good. But now comes the harder part. Forgiveness. I don't believe in cheap forgiveness, the kind that says it's okay when it's not okay. But I do believe in earned redemption. Here's my suggestion. Test them. Not with words, with action. There's a project I started before I got sick, a scholarship fund for architecture students from low-income families. I put 50,000 in it, but I never told the kids. Use that fund. Tell them you're expanding it, that you need help. Real help. Not money, time, work, presence. Tell them you're organizing a fundraiser, planning a community center, something that requires showing up, being present, putting in hours. See who comes, see who stays, see who works when no one's watching. That will tell you everything you need to know about who deserves to be in your life. Love, S. I read it 3 times. Then I made calls. First, to Judith. The trust specifies a scholarship fund. Can we expand it? Absolutely. How much? $1 million. From my personal assets. I want to build it into something permanent. Done. Next, I called the Pasadena Community Center, talked to the director. They'd been trying to add an art and architecture education wing for years. No funding. What if I designed it, I said, pro bono, and raised money for construction? Mr. Hart, that would be incredible. I'll need volunteers for the fundraising committee. Can you send me the paperwork? 2 weeks later, I sent emails to Jonathan and Caroline. Same email, simple. I'm starting a new project, a community center expansion, architecture education for kids who can't afford it. I'm designing it. I need help with fundraising and coordination. No money required, just time. If you're interested, the first meeting is Saturday, 10 a.m. at the community center. Show up or don't. Your choice. I didn't call, didn't follow up, didn't explain. Saturday came. I arrived at 9:30, set up a table in the meeting room, brought blueprints, fundraising materials, sign-up sheets. 10 a.m. The door opened. Caroline walked in, no makeup, jeans and a sweater. She looked nervous. Dad? Caroline? I'm here to help. Okay. Sit down. She sat. I explained the project, the scholarship fund, the community center wing, the fundraising goals. We need to organize 3 events, contact 50 potential donors, create a website, write grant applications. It's about 200 hours of work over 3 months. I'll do it. Why? She looked at me. Because I'm sorry. And because you taught me that sorry isn't a word. It's a choice you make every day. I nodded. All right, here's the donor list. Start calling Monday. We worked for 2 hours. She took notes, asked questions, made calls right there. By noon, she'd scheduled 5 donor meetings. Can I come back next week? She asked. If you want. I do. She left. Jonathan never showed. Over the next 3 months, Caroline came every Saturday, sometimes twice a week. She organized a gala, wrote grant applications, designed a website. She brought her daughter once, my granddaughter, Emma, 9 years old. Emma, this is Grandpa, Caroline said. He's an architect. He's building a place where kids can learn to design buildings. Emma looked at the blueprints. Can I learn? Yes, I said. When it's finished, you'll be in the first class. Caroline's eyes filled with tears. By April, we'd raised $380,000, enough to break ground. I saw her one Saturday, after everyone left. Caroline, yes? Your mom left something for you. I handed her the envelope. She opened it, read silently, started crying, read more, crying harder. When she finished, she looked at me. She said she was proud of me. Even though I failed you, she said I was weak but not cruel, and that weak people can become strong if they work at it. She folded the letter carefully. She also said you'd test me, that you should, that I'd have to earn my way back. Was this the test? Yes. Did I pass? I looked at my daughter. 3 months of showing up, of working, of asking nothing in return. You're passing. It's not over. Trust takes time, but you're passing. She hugged me. I let her. What about John? She asked. I sent him the same email. He didn't come. No. Will you give him another chance? I don't know. That's up to him. The door's open, but he has to walk through it. She nodded. We stood there, in the empty community center, surrounded by blueprints for something new. Not a family, not yet, but maybe the foundation of one. May, 6 months after the lawsuit. We broke ground on the community center addition. Caroline was there, with Emma, with her husband. Jonathan wasn't. That week his lawyer called Judith. He'd agreed to settle. $381,000, paid in full. He also signed a legal document relinquishing all claim to my estate. Per the trust terms, when I die, Jonathan will receive $1. The rest will be divided between Caroline and Charity. He didn't fight it, didn't ask for mercy, just signed. Victoria was indicted. 2 counts of forgery, 1 count of elder financial abuse. Her lawyer negotiated a plea deal, 18 months in county jail, 5 years probation, restitution of $127,000. To me, she didn't apologize, just paid and left. Jonathan divorced her 6 weeks later. In June, he sent me a letter, handwritten, 3 pages. Dad, I don't know if you'll read this. I don't know if I deserve for you to read it. I was stupid, weak, greedy. I let Victoria convince me you were vulnerable, that Evelyn was using you, that we had to act fast. But the truth is, I wanted to believe it. Because if you were incompetent, I could take control, could solve my financial problems, could stop feeling like a failure compared to you. You built a company, designed buildings that will stand for 100 years. I'm a mid-level sales director at a tech company I hate. I've spent my whole life trying to measure up to you and failing. So when Victoria said we could get the money now, before you spent it or gave it away, I listened. I wanted to believe I was protecting you, but really I was protecting my ego. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. I know I can't undo what I did. But I'm getting therapy. I'm trying to figure out why I did this, why I destroyed the one relationship that mattered most. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. Your son, Jonathan, I read it twice. Then I put it in a drawer. 2 weeks later, I called Caroline. I need to talk to you about something. She came over that evening. We sat in the living room. I'd made tea, Sarah's favorite tea, Earl Grey with honey. Your brother sent me a letter. I know, he told me. Do you think he means it? Caroline was quiet for a long time. I think he's broken. I think he's ashamed. Whether that turns into real change, I don't know. Your mom's video said I should give you a chance because you're weak, not cruel. What about John? John's both, but maybe the cruelty came from the weakness. I don't know, Dad. I can't answer that for you. I nodded. I'm changing my will. Judith's drafting it now. Caroline's face didn't change. Okay. You'll receive 30% of the estate. The rest goes to the Sarah Hart Memorial Scholarship Fund and the Community Center Endowment. Jonathan gets $1, as the trust requires. I understand. But there are conditions for you. She looked at me. First condition, you continue working on the community center, not for 6 months, for as long as I'm alive. You're on the board. You show up. You put in the work. Done. Second condition, we have dinner once a month. Here, you bring Emma. We eat together, like a family. Her eyes welled up. I'd love that. Third condition, if Jonathan ever comes back, if he does the work, shows up consistently for a year, we revisit the will. I won't promise anything, but I'll reconsider. That's fair. Fourth condition, you never, ever ask me to forgive him for you. His relationship with me is his responsibility, not yours. I won't. Fifth condition, we talk about your mom. At those dinners, I tell Emma stories about her grandmother. We don't pretend the last year didn't happen, but we also don't let it be the only thing that matters. Caroline was crying now. Yes, God, yes, I want that. I stood. She stood. We hugged, really hugged, for the first time in 6 months. I love you, Dad. I love you too, but love isn't enough. Love without respect is just sentiment. We're building respect. Slowly. I know. Good. She left an hour later, smiled at the door. Not the nervous smile from 6 months ago. A real one. I cleaned up the teacups, looked at Sarah's photo on the mantel. I'm trying, I said to her, the way you taught me. No cheap forgiveness, but no permanent bitterness either. Just boundaries and work and time. The photo didn't answer, but I felt like she heard me. September 2025, 1 year after the lawsuit started. The Sarah Hart Memorial Community Center wing opened. 2,000 square feet, 3 classrooms, a design studio, computer lab, all built to teach kids from low-income neighborhoods about architecture. 50 students enrolled in the first semester. Emma was one of them. I taught the Saturday morning class. Basics of design, how to read blueprints, how to think about space and light and purpose. Caroline ran the fundraising. We'd raised $800,000, enough to keep the program running for 10 years. At the opening ceremony, I gave a speech. My wife Sarah believed that architecture isn't just about buildings. It's about foundations, the things underneath that hold everything else up. I looked at Caroline, at Emma, at the 50 kids sitting in the front rows. She taught me that the same is true for families. You need foundations, boundaries, structure. Without them, everything collapses, even love. I paused. This center is named for her because she understood something I'm still learning, that protecting the people you love sometimes means preparing for the worst. That strength isn't loud, it's quiet, strategic, patient. I looked at the empty seat where Jonathan should have been. She also taught me that forgiveness isn't free. It's earned, through time, through work, through showing up when it's hard. The audience was silent. So this center isn't just for teaching kids to design buildings. It's for teaching them to design lives with strong foundations, clear boundaries, and the courage to rebuild when things fall apart. Applause, not loud, but steady. After the ceremony, Evelyn found me. That was beautiful, Ben. Thank you. Sarah would be proud. I hope so. We'd been seeing each other regularly. Dinner once a week, museums, walks, nothing rushed. We were 2 people in our 60s learning how to be companions without betraying the past. Are you okay? She asked. Getting there. She squeezed my hand. That's all anyone can do. That night, I went home, to the house Sarah and I built. The house I almost lost. I sat at the 12-seat table, alone, but not as alone as before. Tomorrow, Caroline and Emma were coming for dinner, our monthly meal. Emma wanted to show me her first design project, a treehouse. Next week, I was meeting with Judith to finalize the updated trust documents. Everything locked in, clear, protected. And somewhere out there, Jonathan was trying to figure out who he was without Victoria, without me, without the money he thought defined him. Maybe one day he'd do the work, show up, earn his way back, maybe not. Either way, the door was open, but he had to walk through it himself. I looked at Sarah's photo. I think I'm finally understanding what you tried to teach me, I said. That love isn't about giving everything away. It's about knowing what you can't afford to lose. That boundaries aren't walls. They're foundations. They're what let you build something that lasts. I picked up her photo, held it for a moment. I miss you, every day, but you didn't leave me alone. You left me equipped, armed, ready. I put the photo back. Then I opened my laptop, started sketching a new building, not for a client, for me, a small studio, behind the house, where I could work, design, teach Emma when she visited, where I could keep building, because that's what architects do, even after everything falls apart, even when the people you trusted betray you, even when victory tastes like ashes. You take the rubble, study the foundation, and you build again, stronger this time, smarter, with better boundaries, and you do it in silence, the way Sarah taught me, the way I'll teach Emma, the way any good architect approaches the work, one blueprint at a time.